up against the tough Mexican Cesar Soto. Let's take a look at their credentials. McKenzie, 28 now, 29 wins from his 31 fights, the latest when winning this title from Gabi Canizales in June. Not a renowned puncher, McKenzie is in a hurry to make the most of his new title. Soto, he knows, is going to make life difficult for him.
Well, his record would suggest that he's a good puncher. I don't believe in being in fights, in easy fights. You've got to be in exciting fights these days to get people to come and see you, one thing and another, so I'm expecting a very hard fight.
McKenzie's a wise old bird. He's in good shape, as he was last time out.
I'm prepared for a hard fight, as I was with Gabi Canizales. It's exactly the same thing, basically. So I should be victorious. I will be victorious.
Cesar Soto, just 19, has packed some fights into his career. 31, like McKenzie. He's won 25, 20 KOs. It's a pretty impressive looking record, but he hasn't yet fought in the big league. He's nicknamed the Cobra. That suggests that he's a slippery operator and can bite. He's only had the one bout this year, but like a long line of Mexicans, he's tough and rough, and he'll hang around, and he'll certainly want to make the most of his big chance. 31 fights at 19. That's a few under the belt, isn't it?
Yes, I mean, I think he started boxing at the age of 14, which a lot of the Mexicans, they have to start fighting from younger than that anyway. He just started fighting officially at 14. But Duke has recently had a child. He's had a daughter, Jessica, born, and whether that's going to affect his mental preparations for the fight, we have yet to see. I hope it doesn't.
I don't think it will, do you? I mean, once you get your mind concentrated on something like this.
But the birth of a new family member is always a major event for anybody, and it is a distraction, and it happened within the last two weeks, so surely it may have some effect.
Well, let's find out. Time for the action now. Duke McKenzie putting his WBO bantamweight title on the line, a tough opponent for the champion, 19-year-old Cesar Soto from Mexico. Let's join Ian Dark at ringside at the Latchmere Leisure Centre.
Welcome to the tight, compact and atmospheric Latchmere Leisure Centre at Battersea in South London. Duke McKenzie on the far side there, left of your picture, defending the world bantamweight title. He won in splendid fashion against Gabi Canizales, the big punching man from Laredo, only 9 weeks ago. The question really here is, has McKenzie maybe taken this fight a little too soon after that effort? Only a couple of months. McKenzie, though, already back in world title action. There he is. Such a nice man out of the ring. And a two-time world champion, the only British boxer to achieve that feat at flyweight and now bantamweight. McKenzie in the black trunks. Cesar Soto, still 5 days away from his 20th birthday, the Mexican in the white trunks. And believe me, there is no such thing as a bad Mexican bantamweight, or if there is, I haven't seen many of them. These are tough men brought up in a spit and sawdust school in Mexico, and Soto's built a useful reputation already. McKenzie's usual style is to keep things on the outside, work behind his jab, whip in right crosses. Soto, the smaller man with the bigger punch, or so it's said, will be looking to work inside and rough McKenzie up. Good fast right there from Soto, landing to the side of the head. When he won the title, McKenzie really did put on a masterclass that night against Gabi Canizales and won every single round. I think one judge had one round even, but that was about all. Totally outclassed, a good opponent on that occasion. Can he put up a similar display tonight? Well, he's working behind that jab again. Good technician, McKenzie, always has been. Has sometimes looked a little bit ordinary when the pressure's been off, but often when it's mattered, he's put in a good performance. McKenzie moving up to bantamweight after finding it increasingly difficult to make the 8-stone limit at flyweight, where he lost his world title to Dave McCauley, who of course still holds it. Typical piece of work from McKenzie there, making Soto miss. Good reflexes and then whipping in a couple of left hands. Referee Bill Connors having a word with McKenzie there about holding behind the head. 3 judges, by the way, for this one. A German, a Canadian, and an American. They will do the scoring. Referee does not score. Soto having trouble finding his timing with the left, but getting in with a couple of useful-looking rights in this first round. Soto, who's had 25 wins, 4 defeats and 2 draws, as far as we can ascertain. Having said that, establishing the record of Mexicans is a bit like trying to find the combination for the locks at Fort Knox. That's the best of our knowledge, anyway, on Soto. Soto hasn't found the range yet with that left hook of his, which is reputedly quite a potent weapon. There goes the bell to end the first round. They go back to the corner. Let's take a look at Duke McKenzie's record to date. He's been a professional now for 9 years, 29 wins, those 2 defeats against Dave McCauley and Thierry Jacob in a European title fight. McKenzie in his 5th World Championship fight tonight. There's Soto. Wasn't ranked by the WBO until August, and then rather mysteriously suddenly appeared at number 8. These things do tend to happen with the WBO. Second round coming up. This a voluntary defense for Duke McKenzie. McKenzie in the black trunks, the man from Croydon. He's 28 years of age now. Pretty experienced and much more comfortable up at 8 stone 6. McKenzie starting to get to work quite well behind that jab and proving quite elusive as well, making Soto miss a bit, but the Mexican, typically rough, hard man from that part of the world, is quite prepared to bulldoze his way in, maybe take a couple on the way in, if he can land with a couple of decent shots of his own when he gets there. Good right there from McKenzie, working inside. And look at that, lovely work on the ropes from the champion. Soto's being outboxed in this little phase of the fight. That repetitive, insistent jab of McKenzie's thudding home, and a lot of Soto's work landing on the gloves of the champion. Very tight little arena this, just like the one at the Elephant and Castle where McKenzie actually won the title. With so many versions and so many world title fights going on these days, all sorts of venues are used to stage them. I remember being at one in Italy, which was rather like a village hall beside a lake, where Gianfranco Rossi fought. Decent little left hook then, left uppercut inside, and another hook from Soto. He's never been stopped, this Mexican, in 31 contests. All 4 defeats have been on points. And he's been in more latterly with some useful men. He beat the world title contender Mike Phelps in a strange 5-round fight. Lost a couple of times, though on the second occasion very closely indeed to Victor Rabanales, who gave Greg Richardson, the WBC champion, a good fight. So Soto has got some pedigree despite being pretty young. McKenzie certainly not having things here all his own way as he did in the Canizales fight. Soto looking quite useful, though at times in that round he was outboxed, as plenty of people have been before him when coming up against McKenzie.